I have just watched all of my videos from 17 months ago. When I just started my YouTube channel, I was absolutely brand new to YouTube. Now, I realized that a lot of the things I was actually doing wrong, and it's not only that, I realized how actually I have grown so much, and more than that, I realized how many mistakes that were so obvious, but at that point I didn't even see them because I didn't know that they even exist. So now it's not only I'm gonna give you the reflection of everything that I learned throughout these years, but also I'm gonna add throughout all of the years back, and I'm gonna show you all of my history because I had a long history with YouTube. Pretty much since I was 14 years old, I was always doing YouTube. And if you think maybe, well, that's can't be true, this channel is brand new and it doesn't have that much old videos, let me tell you that this is my last channel, not my first. All of the other channels are in Arabic, and probably the chances are you cannot speak Arabic. So probably you want to learn from what I'm going to tell you. So I promise that after this video you will understand two things. The first one is how you reflect and how you self-analyze on yourself in any given moment. Because I have self-analyzed myself so much that I have never met someone that analyzes himself more than me. And I have met so many successful people, so many great people in different ways of life. We're talking entrepreneurs, we're talking coders, we're talking developers, we're talking businessmen, we're talking college students, we're talking nurses, we're talking all of that. You name it. I talk with them. I go through the analysis that I do, and they're like, "That's crazy. Like, give us this, give us that, so we can actually do the same." And now I'm gonna give you all of that, but more than that, I'm gonna also give you my lessons that I learned. So it's pretty much you can never get this anywhere on the planet, because nobody is, one, willing to do what I did, two, is giving you what he found, and three, showing you how you can do it so you can do the same that I did in your life, in your specific situation. So right now it's literally, so I'm just going to give you a context, and it just shows the complete contrast between the moment I started making YouTube videos and now. When I started making YouTube videos on this channel, not actually when I started making YouTube videos when I was 14 years old, we're talking about when I first started this YouTube channel. So I started the YouTube channel, all what I was thinking about is college. I'm thinking about my colleagues, I'm thinking about what they will think about me, what they will say, what this, that, and everything that I talk about was college. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. One of my unfair advantages is I am in nursing college. Nobody is that, and you have to go through a very long process, let alone the 12 years before high school. After that, you go through an exam, because there is so many people that want to get to the school, but they won't let all of them. Then you go to another exam with your teachers. Then if they accept you, you go there, and then if you can succeed the college, you continue. So it's extremely hard and it's extremely rare to get to the nursing school, at least the nursing school I am in. So there's nothing wrong with that. But once you hear me speaking, I'll make sure that I will put some shots here and there, right? You can see that I was afraid of college a lot. I was afraid of college. I was afraid of whatever, I was extremely not confident in myself. I literally, it feels like I was literally a sheep in nature, not even in a herb. It's in nature. I don't even know what herb I belong to. And it's kind of crazy because once you see it, you can never unseen it again. Because the moment I saw it, I'm like, there is no way, obviously there is a way, because that was literally what happened, but I'm like, I'm the complete opposite. And also, I said to myself, because I look at my colleagues and I always push them hard, I'm a hard person, you know? When you go hard on yourself, you cannot not go hard on the people that are around you. So with my colleagues, I'll always go hard on them. But I look back at that and I'm like, I was literally worse than my colleagues. And it just makes so much sense. Right? Because my colleagues are pretty much in the same situation, maybe a little bit better, because I sort of like fucked up with one thing or two there, right? But the point of this is not about me being afraid. It's about learning from the lesson. Because if I go back to that moment, two things that I would give myself: consistency and bravery. You have to be consistent, first of all. And obviously WhiTeeee Galaxy is one of the gates that has opened to me in this universe where I actually, for the first time in my life, I was extremely consistent on a certain thing. I didn't give a fuck about results, I didn't give a fuck about views, I didn't give a fuck about subscribers, this, you name it, everything. I didn't give a fuck about a single fucking thing. All what I did is consistency. And that's what I'm still doing till this fucking day. Okay? So the moment is like, okay, you got the consistency, which is literally you cannot lose if you're consistent. If you're consistent enough, you cannot fucking lose. It's just the law of the fucking universe. I just can't comprehend how it was so fucking dumb a few years ago because I didn't understand the value of consistency. I was always, no, but, you know, the special snowflake. It's like, no, but I have something special. No, but I want to give value. You can give shit if you're not consistent. You're consistent, and that consistency gives you one thing that is extremely more important than anything else in life, which is momentum. Momentum is what I got with WhiTeeee Galaxies, what I got with my human life, with the universe. And the only thing that changed between then, when I started making these YouTube videos, and now, because I looked at the moment, all of the first videos from 17 fucking months ago when I started WhiTeeee Galaxy, we're talking about hundreds of videos, hundreds and hundreds of videos back that I've made throughout these 17 fucking months, right? Hundreds of videos, just long form on this fucking channel, let alone all of my channels, let alone all the social media shit, let alone that. Maybe there is 1,000 or a couple thousand videos, okay? But forget that. We're talking about momentum is what actually makes the difference. Because I look at it and I look at myself now, I just have the momentum. And momentum doesn't only make you successful, it doesn't only give you the results, it doesn't only give you everything that you want and the success and the confidence and this, but also it makes you better with criticism. It's something that's crazy. I can't believe how I've never seen it. Because I will not wrap this, but I will summarize a certain period of my life so you can understand this specific scenario, because there's a lot of periods of my life that I will talk about here that are actually extremely important to understand. So the first time that I got into college, so I finished high school with perfect fucking grade, I got into college, I realized that I don't want to do college to do on a YouTube, nothing special. So I studied for 2 fucking months, but things happen, blah, blah, whatever, dropped out, okay? So I dropped out after 2 months and they did something that was bullshit. I just chose college that was fucking, I didn't even give a fuck, and it has nothing to do with my degrees. So after that, I realized that my life got fucked, duh. Not really duh, but if I know what I know now, probably my life wouldn't get fucked. At least not as much. So I got back to college, which is a nursing college. I went through the process. That was fucking hard, but I got it. Now, fast fucking forward, I was always fucking criticizing college. And that hurts me a lot. Imagine when I started making these YouTube, and this is for the first fucking time I'm gonna say, imagine when I started making YouTube videos on my WhiTeeee Galaxy. I have never published the videos publicly ever. To nobody, not a single human has seen my videos. Not a single human. I was like, hey, I make videos and you can watch. Not a single human that I know, I shared with him the videos. You can say why, whatever. Sure, I assume that was fear of criticism. That's the only thing. You can say that maybe the algorithm, and if I show someone that speaks Arabic and they speak English and I want, you know, US-based audience or European audience or whatever bullshit, you can say that. But also, I'm pretty sure that it was fucking fear of criticism. Because I'm pretty sure that I've got a lot of fucking scenarios when people were criticizing what I was doing in YouTube. I literally had college students that came to me that I thought that were my friends. That was the first time in college, right? I was a pussy then. Anyway, literally friends of mine that I called friends and my colleagues were coming to me and they were making fun of me. They were saying that I was literally scamming people online and that I was just selling people hopes and dreams. I was literally making entertainment content in Arabic. What are you fucking talking about? You're fucking out of your fucking mind. Now, because in that period I have lost consistency and momentum, which is more important than consistency, but you cannot get without the consistency. You have to come back once, and you're like, I've came here 10 times before. I cannot just fuck this up now, because I've done this 10 times before, and it was hard. I'm not gonna wait until now that I've gone through all of that shit, and now fuck it. So fuck you. And that's what you need when facing the fear of criticism, when facing people that don't give a fuck about you, don't give a fuck about what you want, don't give a fuck about a fucking dream that you have. And that's the truth. It's like, if you think that if we're gonna give a random person in the planet, we're gonna give him, you're gonna get $1 billion, and this guy will die. What about you? You already know that 99.9999% of people will say, fuck him. Especially if you're gonna say, there's no consequences whatsoever. Never there's no consequences. Everybody will be like, sure, yes. Nobody gives a fuck about you. So if you don't give a fuck about yourself enough to be consistent, build momentum, and fight for what you believe in, nobody will ever fight for what you believe in. Now, things come hand to hand. Things are linked, right? Things are linked, and that's why Darwin or Da Vinci says, you have to study the art of science and study the science of art, because everything is linked somehow. There is some links to anything and everything, right? And it just does make sense in all the realms. And this links perfectly to what I was saying. Right now, as I'm filming this video, I have an exam tomorrow in my nursing college, and I probably have a presentation in the fucking morning. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Guess what? I didn't prepare shit. And guess what? I will fucking do it best than every fucking body else. And that's just what it is. So you can say, probably you can argue whatever shit argument that you think. But I'm pretty sure I didn't fucking prepare shit. And I will do better than 99.999% of people. And it's not only because I know some shit. Obviously I do. But it's more of a fucking momentum. Because I've built so momentum that something like this so small can't fuck me up. I can just maneuver over it because I've been through the hard stuff. When it was hard, when it was raining, when it was fucking dark like this fucking color, I didn't fucking stop. I didn't fucking say, no, I can't. I didn't say, no, it's too hard for me. I didn't say shit. I said, look, I'm gonna look in the fucking pain in the fucking eyes. And if he's a fucking man, he's gonna face the fucking me. Guess what happens? I always fucking win. And it's not only me. Even fucking Elon Musk, he's the richest man in the planet. He's the most, probably, arguably the most powerful person on the planet. And guess what he says? He says, look in the fear, right? Look in the fear in the eyes and he will disappear. And that's literally why you have to become brave. And that comes to the lessons that I literally started with. If I go back, 2 things I will start with, consistency and bravery. Now you're going to say, what do you mean by consistency? You understand it. You literally cannot fail if you're consistent. If you do things today and tomorrow forever, you will probably be the best in the world in 10 years. And that's literally the difference between the best people in the world. They just do it again and again and again, and they don't give a fuck. There is nothing that can stop them. They might be ill. Something can happen. Maybe they have an exam tomorrow. Maybe some friend wants to go out. Maybe they don't have internet. Maybe their phone broke. Maybe. Who gives a fuck? They're consistent. And that's why they're the best in the world. That's why you are not. I know I will be. Will you? Now, we talked about consistency, right? So, like, you cannot fail if you're consistent. It's impossible to fail as long as you're consistent. It's impossible to fail if you're consistent. Now, let's talk about bravery. If you're consistent and not brave, it's impossible to fail. But if you want it quicker, if you want to win quicker, you have to be brave. Now, you can say, how can I be brave? And we'll talk about the specificities of being brave. Maybe I become brave by talking shit. Maybe I become brave by doing stuff that people didn't do. That's literally the main thing of vlogging in 2017. The main idea of it was being brave and doing shit that nobody is willing to fucking do. And the same thing with college. I really believe that college is about bravery more than anything else. Because everybody thinks that the people who are the nerdest the most will get the best grades. I fucking disagree. I think the people who are the bravest, who can come to the teacher and talk to him and show exactly why they are the best, and they tell the people what they are the best, and they ask the people what they want, and ask the people what he wants for them to give him their grades, and those are the people who are brave enough, and those are the people that will be compensated, because always there is, wherever there is black, wherever there is darkness, there's the fucking light, right? So because they're fucking brave, they compensated and they are the first people in the class all the time. And not only that, but also they get the first people in the class. And more than that, more than being the first people in the class, they also have the best mental health. You know the people who are the most screwed the mental health in? You know are the people that are most screwed? You know what, bro, I'm literally emotional about this thing because it's so important. You know the people that are so screwed when it comes to college? You know who are they? It's not the people who are the best, because those are brave and those have the best mental health. You know who are the people who are most screwed? Mediocre people, because they are not brave. They're afraid of teachers. I literally see them all the time. They cannot look at the teacher. If the teacher looks at them, they look down. Why? He's a fucking human being. Look at him in the eyes and say, I will do whatever I have to do. And I do whatever I must and I am asked to do. So there is no reason for me to look down, and that is not a sign of respect at all. Sure, if you can say a teacher can say something and you shut up because it's his lesson, sure, that's respect because he knows more than you in the stuff that he teaches you. But if it's something extremely irrelevant, which happens a lot of times, maybe you don't need to look down. Maybe you need to look in the eyes. And sometimes maybe you should just disagree. And this happens to me all the time. I disagree with teachers all the time. Maybe I don't say it because I'm not fucking moron, so they fucking fuck me up in the final exams. But I just disagree and I look there and I just distract myself for 15 minutes because they're talking about a topic that literally doesn't help us in our career, our educational nursing career. So maybe I shouldn't even listen in the first place to this segment that just you're passionate about. You're passionate about some bullshit that I don't give a fuck about. You want to literally give me your philosophy that is shit. That literally cannot help me, and maybe it works for you, but it doesn't work for me. Now you understand how bravery helps you. Now I'm gonna step back because not everybody fucking studies. Obviously, I'm comparing myself. The main idea of this video, and you have to understand this very clearly, is the point of me comparing myself, or not really comparing myself, but looking back and self-analyzing 17 months ago when I started this channel. 17 months ago, we're talking about 525 days. 525 days. Literally, I was consistent every single day. Now you say, well, what has changed? I told you, and now I'm gonna give you even more than that. It's not only college, it's also business, it's also life, it's all the relationship, it's also the universal existence of yours. Now, maybe you don't take it from me. Like, who are you to even tell me what to do? Sure, don't take it from me. Take it from the people that are the best in the fucking world. We're talking about one person who probably you have to listen to in history. If there's one person, it's one guy who studied for 22 years, 25,000 people in the 70s, and he was hired by the richest man in the world. He literally got his task by the richest man in the world. It's like Elon Musk right now telling someone to study 25,000 people. We're talking about extremely successful people for like 40 years, because obviously now it's more accessible. Then it was extremely harder. Now we're talking about 100 years ago. Not really that much. It's like 50 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. You think with yourself and you're like, okay, who's this guy's name? Napoleon Hill, blah, 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 I don't give a fuck, okay, what he says. Now, one of the main essence that he talks about is bravery. If you're not brave, if you don't have high agency means that you have to take your own decisions by yourself. People don't understand how important that is. It's like I go to the gym. If I want to lift some shit, I lift it. Right now, today, there's colleagues or have collected, all of them, like there's 4 or 5 colleagues are trying to explain to me how I should not train every fucking day. They're like, no, but you get burnout. Fucking burnout. What do you mean burnout? You're fucking skinny. You have to fucking go to the fucking gym. You're talking about burnout? The fuck do you know? You know some pizza. Anyway, so they were all trying to finesse me. They were trying to finesse the goose. You know what I'm saying? So they tried to finesse me and walk me out of training. No, but training too much is actually bad for you because you cannot. What do you mean you cannot recover? What do you mean? I'm training once a day for 45 minutes. You tell me you cannot recover? What about 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ago when people have to run from tigers every single day, have to travel all the mountains looking for some fields where there's grass, where there's some hay to fucking cook? Where was the fucking recovery then? You were carrying your children in your tents. There's no tents. There's just wood. So you can't even move your children. So every day you have to build another house so you can sleep with your family. Now you tell me you can't recover from a 45 minutes bench press fucking working shoulders? Are you a moron? Now, this comes to the point of bravery. Because if you're not brave enough, some people will try to finish you and you're like, well, I can't be right. All of these people are telling me that I am wrong, No, you're fucking wrong. If 100 people comes to you and they tell you you are wrong, if you know you are right, then you are right. It doesn't matter. Two wrong doesn't make one right. That's what life is. If this is black, if 1 billion people comes to me and they tell me this is actually white, I'm gonna tell them to fuck off. This is fucking black and I see it with my own eyes. Obviously, if I have some sort of benefit, if all of a sudden I believe it's white and I make more money, I become more successful, I become stronger and fitter and I get bigger, sure, I'll say this is white every single day for my entire life, for my entire existence. I know convince people that it's fucking white. But now, no, it's a fucking black world. And a lot of people have the right things, and they know the right things, and they know exactly what to fucking say. As I promised, I said that I'm gonna not only show you what I've learned, but also I'm gonna even give you something more important than all of this, which is crazy. Imagine all of this information. Just this information that I gave you literally is able to make a rock succeed. It's literally gonna make a rock change its life. Now, I'll give you even more information. I'll give you even more value that is more valuable than the rock itself. It will not only make the rock successful, but it will shatter the rock about the value that I'm going to give you in this segment. This segment is about self-analysis. So I am a big self-analysis guy. I analyzed 25 habits of mine, and probably it would become 26 literally a few days ago. It's like in a few days, it's gonna become 26. Imagine 26 habits that I tracked every single day for the past 4.5 years. 4 years and 4 months I have on a spreadsheet since January 2021. Everything that I did, when I made money, when I prayed, when I had social life, when I was going with friends, when I was literally everything you can think about. We're talking about how much I slept. We're talking about the energy. We're talking about I've made progress to my goal. Everything is there. Even my haircut is there. Literally all the information. And I'm like, okay, so I analyze it and see the best version of myself. And I'm like, okay, this is what I did in the best version of myself. Now let's do it again. Now when I do it again, multiple times, I'm like, now let's do something even better. Let's see what can be better than even this version of myself. And now when you do it once and again, it just becomes the habit, and you realize that you're never going backward. And people, guess what? When I started that channel, I will tell you one thing. When I started this channel, WhiTeeee Galaxy, literally 90 days before it, everything was fucked in my life. Literally, when I started, 1 month later, one fucking month later, my mother got diagnosed by cancer. Literally 1 month. Literally 1 month. I'm telling you, I started it in the worst period of my life, when it was the downest and the downest. And also the first year in my life, the first year in this channel, it was the worst year of my life, the hardest year of my life. Now you're gonna argue that maybe, well, it can't be true. It's fucking true. And I will tell you, and you can look back in the videos and you see what was happening when I was filming videos at 7 a.m. after having 20 hours of hard work. And I was filming at 7 a.m. because I was disciplined. That's what momentum is. So if someone comes to me and is like, well, you're lucky. Like people in college are like, well, I'm jealous of him. Guess what? No fucking shot. No fucking shot. Of course you fucking are, because when I was in 7 a.m. what you were doing, you were sleeping, you were scrolling on social media. Not like me, it was 7 a.m. I was working, I was making the videos after 20 hours of hard work and misery, and the hardest thing that I've done in my life. Now, if you want something even more important, which is literally, I'm literally giving you the most important thing that you'll probably ever hear in your life. Ever. I read the book by Patrick Bet-David, right? He's a cool guy. So I read the book, and he's talking about analysis. He's talking about when you want to build a business, if you want to build a real business that actually succeeds in life, you have to analyze the past, because you cannot predict the future if you don't know the past. So you have to analyze your past when it comes to the business. You have to analyze the past of the business, and now I'll show you how I'll do it in my life, not in business. Also in business and in my life, so you can even do it too, no matter what you do in your life. So I'm looking back at my life, and he says, if you're gonna analyze your mistakes, everything that has happened to you in your business, it means that you're guaranteed that you will not fall into the same mistakes, and also you'll be better. And here he was talking about all this bullshit and how like literally everyone on earth makes the same mistakes repeatedly, but they don't know because it changes a little bit, it changes its forms. And literally if you're gonna go back and if you do this analysis, maybe you can guess it without the analysis, and this is true. But if you're gonna do the analysis, you will find out, like I found out, and I'll show you why and how I fixed it, that I was making the same mistakes again and again, and it was the number one thing that fucked me over and over and over again since literally I was 4 years old. Now you're telling me that can't be true. It's fucking true. And that's why like someone like Patrick Bet-David is making the book of Choose Your Enemies Wisely, some fucking crazy book, combining all of the information, and he's like, you have to analyze everything about your business in the past quarter, the past year, the past 5 years, and everything before it. You have to know every little details, because what you measure you can manage, and two, what you measure fucking grows. I was like, if these motherfuckers doing it for the business, I'm doing it for my life, because I want my life to be better. I want my life to be better than business. I want my life to be better than I want my business to be better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull a piece of paper, I'm gonna get a notebook, and I'm gonna analyze the 21 years that I lived in this universe, and I'm gonna analyze it year after year after year since the day I was fucking born. I used some AI to get all the questions and some bullshits, like what are the biggest events, some 19 bullshit questions that I have to go through and answer for each specific years. And I realized I was doing the same mistake. Guess what the mistake is? Guess what the mistake is that I literally repeated again and again. And it was the number one reason why I got fucked in my life again and again and again. And maybe it's not like one day after day. Maybe the difference between them is about 4 years. So I go through cycles. I literally forget that I did the same mistake, and it doesn't come in the same form. It changes. It changes, but the routes are the same. Guess what? I was a fucking pussy. Now you're gonna say, no, this can't be. It's fucking true. And that's why I started this video by looking back at my old videos, and I look at that video and I'm like, I was scared. If I was brave, I would be more successful now. I would have been more successful then, and it's just the law of the universe. The braver you are, the more successful you will be in anything in life. Anything in life, the braver you are, the more successful you will be. Now, I'm giving you all these information that literally can make a rock not only succeed, but can make a rock become a fucking star in the stars, in the universe, and shine in the universe. So maybe you can do something with this. So you don't watch this video and go sleep. No, your life has to be changed somehow. It has to be changed, because this is everything that I know. It's not only everything that it's the most valuable thing that you will ever hear in your life. And as I promised, so make sure to subscribe.